Summer of Rediscovery. The summer of 1995 was just beginning, and while most kids were off to the beach or summer camps, I was stuck in the same small town in Connecticut, where nothing much ever happened. My name is Alex, and at 14 I was still discovering who I was. Mostly awkward and uncertain. The world around me felt confined, much like the faded wallpaper in my bedroom, patterned with flowers that seemed to wilt more each day. I didn't know it yet, but this summer was going to change everything. I had a crush, well, it was more than that, on a girl named Harper. She was 17, a rising senior with wild chestnut curls and a smile that could light up even the dullest day. She was everything I wasn't. Confident, carefree, and unapologetically herself. It was her laughter that lured me to the small-town pool every day, where she worked as a lifeguard. In my mind, she was like a sunbeam, and I was just a moth drawn closer and closer. But while my heart raced at the thought of Harper, there was another boy in town who caught my attention. Ryan. He was older, charming, and he had a driver's license, a coveted asset in our sleepy town. His favorite hangout was the local supermarket's parking lot, where he often flashed that infectious smile and offered his attention to younger girls like a prize. I ended up there one evening mostly because of Harper. I had learned that she'd be stopping by after her shift, and I thought perhaps I could get her to notice me. Little did I know Ryan had other plans. "Hey Alex, why don't you come over here?" Ryan called out, leaning against his beat-up Honda Civic. He beckoned with a crooked finger, and I approached, feeling a mix of excitement and trepidation. "Hey," I replied, trying to sound cool. "What's up? Wanna hang out?" He gestured to the open passenger seat. I hesitated. I wasn't really interested in Ryan, but the idea of being in his presence felt thrilling. As I climbed into the car, a surge of anxiety twisted my stomach. "Do you like music?" Ryan asked, starting the engine. I nodded, my heart pounding as he played a popular song. It was only a few minutes into our drive when Ryan turned to me, his expression shifting. "So, do you ever go out with guys?" Caught off guard, I glanced at him. "I don't know," I stammered. "Not really." "Well, you're cute," he said, leaning in closer. "Why not give it a shot?" Before I could respond, he leaned in and pressed his lips against mine. It was fast and sloppy, nothing like what I'd imagined my first kiss would be. I didn't want to say no. I didn't want to ruin the moment, so I kissed him back, feeling his hands explore awkwardly. But then, just as quickly as it had started, it was over. Ryan pulled away, a satisfied smirk on his face. "See? Not so bad, right?" I felt a swirl of confusion. I didn't really like Ryan, but the attention felt good. Just then, as if the universe was playing some kind of cruel joke, Harper appeared, walking toward the car with her friends, laughter bubbling between them like music. "Ryan, what are you doing with Alex?" she called out, her voice bright and teasing. Ryan shrugged, an air of nonchalance masking the sudden tension that filled the car. "Just hanging out, you know?" Harper's expression shifted to concern as she looked at me. "Alex, are you okay?" I nodded, wishing I could disappear. I felt caught between the thrill of Ryan's kiss and the reality of who I really wanted. "Let's go," Harper declared, pulling me from the car. "We're heading to the park. You coming?" I didn't hesitate. I stepped away from Ryan and followed Harper, my heart racing for a different reason now. The park was lively with kids running around and laughter echoing in the air. I found myself sitting on the swings next to Harper, who began to chat effortlessly, her spirit infectious. "Did you really kiss Ryan?" she asked, her brown eyes sparkling with mischief. I felt my cheeks flush. "It was, nothing," I stammered, avoiding her gaze. "Oh, come on, you can tell me," she laughed. "I think it's cute." In that moment, something inside me stirred. I wanted to tell her how I felt, to share my secret crush, but fear gripped me. What if she didn't feel the same? What if she laughed? Instead, I said, He's just a guy. Harper shrugged. He's a bit of a jerk anyway. You deserve someone better. Her words hung in the air like a lifeline. Maybe she saw more than I realized. Maybe she knew me in ways I couldn't even acknowledge. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Harper leaned closer. Let's grab some frozen yogurt, she suggested, her smile warming me. Sure, I replied, thrilled at the idea. After indulging in frosty treats, we wandered through the park, sharing secrets and dreams. Harper opened up about her own crushes, and I couldn't help but feel a twinge of jealousy. Then she paused, looking serious. Hey Alex, can I tell you something? I nodded, my heart racing again. I think you're amazing, she said softly. And I really like you. My breath caught in my throat. You do? Yeah, she continued, her cheeks flushing slightly. You're really sweet, and you make me laugh. I'd like to get to know you better. The world around me fell silent as those words sunk in. This was what I had been waiting for, the connection I craved. Me too, I said, feeling a grin break out on my face. I really like you, Harper. In that moment, everything felt right. We stood close, and as the stars twinkled above us, Harper leaned in and kissed me. Her lips were soft, the kiss lingering, full of promise and possibility. Am I right or am I right? She teased, pulling back and searching my eyes. I think you're definitely right, I replied, feeling a warmth blossom in my chest. Our summer days blurred into a series of moments, late-night talks, bike rides through town, and stolen kisses behind the local diner. Each afternoon felt like a whirlwind of adventure, as we explored who we were together. But like all summers, it eventually had to end. As August rolled in, I felt the weight of reality settle over me. Harper had plans for college, and I was still figuring things out. On her last day before heading off, we sat beneath a giant oak tree, the sun filtering through the leaves, casting dappled shadows on the ground. I'll miss you, I said softly, the words heavy on my tongue. Me too, she replied, looking wistful. But you'll be okay. You're going to be amazing, Alex. Her words filled me with hope, even as the bittersweet feeling of goodbye loomed over us. Before she left, she leaned in and kissed me one last time, sealing our summer in a moment I'd treasure forever. Years later, sitting on a sun-soaked balcony overlooking the bustling streets of Boston, I would reminisce about that summer with Harper, the girl who opened my eyes to love in all its beautiful, messy forms. As I sipped my coffee, a smile danced on my lips. I often thought of Ryan too. He had become a local celebrity, vlogging about outdoor adventures and making a name for himself. Meanwhile, Harper was thriving in college, likely crafting her own stories, perhaps similar to our own. My life had changed since those warm summer days, and while the memories faded like the last rays of summer sunlight, they would always be a part of who I was. A reminder that love, in all its forms, is worth embracing. And as I watched the sun dip below the horizon, I knew I had finally found my way home. As the seasons changed and the years rolled on, the memories of that summer with Harper remained etched in my mind like a vibrant painting on a blank canvas. Each detail, the laughter, the warmth of her hand in mine, the stolen kisses, were colors that I revisited often, especially during moments of quiet reflection. But life has a way of pulling us in unexpected directions. After graduating high school, I found myself swept up in the whirlwind of college life in Boston. The city buzzed with energy, and I embraced every moment. The late-night study sessions, the crowded coffee shops, the exhilarating feeling of newfound independence. Yet, even amid the chaos, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was still searching for something. A piece of myself that felt incomplete. In my sophomore year, I met Mia, a spirited girl with fiery red hair and a passion for art that was contagious. We connected over our shared love for creative expression, often spending evenings at the campus art studio, painting and sharing our dreams. Mia was vibrant, confident, and completely different from anyone I had ever met. One chilly October night, while we worked on our canvases, Mia turned to me with a curious look in her eyes. "You've mentioned a girl named Harper a few times. What's the story there?" I hesitated, feeling a mix of nostalgia and vulnerability. Harper was my first crush. She opened my eyes to a lot of love, friendship, and who I wanted to be. We spent a summer together, and it was magical. Mia tilted her head, intrigued. "What happened?" "She went off to college and we lost touch. It was bittersweet, you know? I didn't really get a chance to tell her how much she meant to me." Mia studied me for a moment, and I could see the wheels turning in her mind. "You should reach out to her. You never know what could happen." The idea lingered in my mind long after that conversation. I couldn't help but wonder if Harper ever thought of me. What if she remembered those summer days too? I knew I had to at least try. That night I crafted a message, my fingers hovering over the keyboard as I tried to find the right words. It had been years, and the vulnerability of reaching out felt daunting. But with a deep breath I hit send, my heart racing at the uncertainty. A few days later, I was at the library when my phone buzzed. It was a response from Harper, and I could hardly believe my eyes. "Alex, I can't believe you reached out. I've thought about you so often. Let's catch up. How about dinner next week?" My heart soared. A million questions raced through my mind. What had she been doing? Did she remember our summer like I did? As we set a date for dinner, I felt a mix of excitement and nerves. I hadn't seen Harper in years, and yet the thought of being in her presence again made me feel like that awkward 14-year-old all over again. The evening of our dinner arrived, and I chose a cozy little Italian restaurant near campus. I arrived early, nerves churning in my stomach, imagining every possible scenario. Would she still have that same laugh? Would I still feel that spark between us? When Harper walked in, I nearly gasped. She looked stunning, her long hair cascading over her shoulders, and her smile lit up the room. As she approached, my heart raced and all the memories flooded back. Our summer together, the innocence of those moments, and the bond we shared. "Alex, it's so good to see you," she exclaimed, enveloping me in a warm hug that sent butterflies fluttering through my stomach. "Great to see you too," I replied, trying to keep my voice steady as we sat down. Over dinner, we fell into conversation effortlessly, catching up on life, school, and everything in between. Harper shared stories of her college experiences, her art classes, and her dreams of becoming a graphic designer. I shared my own journey, the ups and downs of navigating life in a big city, and my passion for literature. As we laughed and reminisced, I felt a familiar warmth envelop us. It was as if no time had passed at all, and I found myself slipping back into the comfort of our connection. "Do you ever think about that summer?" Harper asked, her eyes searching mine. "Every day," I admitted, a smile spreading across my face. "You were a huge part of my growing up." She paused, her expression softening. "You were mine too. That summer changed everything for me." My heart raced at her words. The air between us shifted, and I could feel the unspoken feelings bubbling to the surface. As the night wore on, we decided to take a stroll through the nearby park, the crisp fall air wrapping around us like a familiar embrace. We walked side by side, our hands brushing against each other as we shared stories of our lives, our laughter mingling with the sound of leaves crunching beneath our feet. Eventually, we found ourselves at a small clearing where the glow of the moon illuminated the space, casting a magical ambience around us. "Do you think we could have had more?" I asked suddenly, my voice barely above a whisper. "If we hadn't lost touch?" Harper turned to me, her gaze intense and sincere. "I've thought about that a lot. I think we both needed to grow, but I can't help but wonder too." In that moment, I felt a rush of courage. "I've missed you, Harper. Not just as a friend, but as more than that." Her eyes widened slightly, and a soft smile crept across her face. "I've missed you too, Alex. You were my first love. I don't think I could ever forget that." As the air grew thick with anticipation, I leaned closer, my heart pounding in my chest. "Can we try again?" Without hesitation, Harper nodded. "Yes, I'd like that." With the moonlight casting a silvery glow around us, I leaned in, and we shared a kiss that felt like coming home, full of warmth, familiarity, and a promise of what could be. As we pulled back, her laughter filled the air, and it was a sound I had missed dearly. We spent the rest of the night wrapped in each other's stories and hopes, reconnecting in ways I never thought possible. In the weeks that followed, our rekindled relationship blossomed like the fall leaves around us, vibrant and full of life. We spent evenings painting together, exploring the city, and discovering each other anew. It felt surreal to be with Harper again, but this time it felt right. Eventually, our conversations turned deeper. We discussed our dreams for the future, our aspirations, and what we wanted out of life. It was during one of those late-night talks, curled up on my couch with blankets wrapped around us, that I realized how much I had grown since that summer. "Harper, I know I'm still figuring things out," I said, looking at her with sincerity, "but I want to be someone worthy of your love, someone who embraces who they are, who they love, and what they want." She reached out, taking my hand in hers. "You already are that person, Alex. You just needed to see it for yourself." With each passing day, I felt more anchored in my identity and who I wanted to become. Our love was a journey, one filled with both exploration and self-discovery. And as the leaves turned to gold and the chill of winter approached, I found warmth not only in Harper's embrace but in the knowledge that our paths had intertwined once more, reminding me that sometimes, love can be a beautiful second chance. The summer had taught me to embrace love in its many forms, and now with Harper by my side, I felt ready to face whatever life had in store. Together, we were writing a new chapter, one filled with possibility, adventure, and the courage to be our true selves.